Hello everybody, welcome back to the Shadowrun walkthrough. Alright, so this one, I'm not exactly sure what I accomplished between videos. I feel like there's probably going to be a point where, and again it very well could be between this video and the previous, where I just farmed a ton of karma by doing runs for Gunderson, I think is his name, right? The Johnson and the Redman Barons. And I feel like it's almost has to be between these two videos. We'll see here. Hopefully I'll pull open my... Oh, I don't know. I only have 2,300. So yeah, maybe not. Okay, so this is one of the clubs that you can't get into, or I can't get into yet. I think... It's either a reputation requirement, or it's because I haven't done a storyline or the next storyline objective, which is to go to the Puyallup Barrens. I'm probably not saying that right. It's a goofy word, but anyways, all right. So this is the Matchstick, and there's a runner in here named Breanna that's amazing. I'm going to talk to her, but I'm not actually going to hire her quite yet. If you take a look here, 1,190 for a one-time run, and what was that, 11,000 for a lifetime, basically 12,000, something like that. I'm not sure what my stats are here. Obviously, charisma as well as negotiations would reduce that. I think negotiations will reduce it anyway. It may only be charisma. I can't remember now. Should pull up my... Oh boy. Alright, so here I got jumped by Lone Star, and I'm not sure what I picked. But that's another reason actually to get your charisma up as early as you can. Charisma is going to affect your, like, they consider it fast talk success, and basically that's just when someone stops you and wants to ask you questions. Charisma is going to increase the success of essentially getting away without them harassing you. So I'll have to bump that up eventually. So I'm looking for my second runner that I want, and that I think her name is is it Fiona? Something like that. I probably have that completely wrong. I'm the worst. I've already forgotten her name. Freya. Sorry, that's what it is. So she's an elf. Widely regarded as the best caster in the game. I would say that she is. I really like her. And this is the bar that she's in. I've already missed the name of this bar, but I think you have to have a reputation of 4 to get in here. So I'm actually just going to go through all of her dialogue, because again, I'm going to, I believe, hire her right now. Yeah, this is Freya. So again, you know, my impression is she's the best caster in the game. I don't know. I guess the reason why I say that, number one, is she's an elf, so she gets a really good quickness stat, and I mean, and then on top of that, so she's an actual mage as opposed to a shaman, so she doesn't have basically one slot of her inventory always taken up by a totem, which is kind of nice too. I like that. And she's got a just really good starting stats too. So hopefully once I've hired her, I'll take a look at her stats. But and again, that's kind of why. And then because she's so good, that's why her it costs so much to hire her. So if you notice that was something like 1,000 million. Again, hopefully I'll pull open my my stats here to just take a look at what my stats are. Oh, and here. So the other thing is I kept trying to just run from them as opposed to talking to them, which I may have been able to talk my way out of it, but I kept trying to run. Every once in a while, though, you know, by just running, you actually will just outrun them, which then you basically, they won't even appear on the map, which is kind of interesting too, but... and I don't know what effects. So I would guess if you're trying to outrun them, maybe your quickness stat is factored in. I'm not 100% sure on that though. But anyways, all right. So we're running into Winston Mars here. He is a troll. This is another one of, I would regard, one of the best runners in the game. he's a samurai, and actually he's the only samurai that's actually hireable at this point. There actually are 2 other samurai in the game, um, and they unfortunately though you need to do quests to get them. So again, he's actually really great, and I'd say maybe if it's your first time playing the game, you might not want to pass this guy up just because he's kind of a beast too. So because he's a troll, he gets a really huge body stat. I can't remember now if it's a 7 or an 8. Hopefully, again, I'll pull up his stats and take a look. Here, I just went through all the dialogue. I'm not going to read it out loud, I guess, or for the commentary. If you want to, you can read it yourself. But he really just talks about kind of the event that happened. And again, I always forget the name of it. But essentially, a bunch of humans were mutated into trolls and whatnot. And then there, if you take a look, his hiring price is incredibly cheap. I actually am going to hire all of the runners in this video just so that you can take a look at their stats. And then on top of that, I'm going to rob everyone blind just because I'm a jerk like that. But some of these guys don't, if you're just looking to grab their stuff and throw them out of your party, you won't make that much money off of them, but there are a couple that are really good. So here's Freya. Again, her intelligence, willpower, both 5s. Quickness is a 5. Her body stat's actually pretty good, too. Here's Winston. He starts with a 7. I'm not sure if that's his maximum or if he can actually go all the way to 8. His quickness is terrible, though, so it's not a bad idea to invest some points into his quickness. And then he's got a 4 in shotguns. I actually don't really like shotguns. I think they're the worst weapons in the game. So actually what I would do, or I would recommend doing for him, is to actually just start upgrading his firearm stat if you're going to use him, as opposed to shotguns. And then just give him a pistol. Give him a predator. There's the allegiance. So if you notice there, the attack power is really good on it, but the problem with that shotgun is it's only got a 5-round, or you can only hold 5 rounds. So you're going to fly through clips if you use that a lot. But so again, that's actually why I would say maybe don't use that shotgun. But here I'm actually not sure what I'm doing here. Probably just trying to run around and sell some of this stuff. But yeah, we'll cruise over here. I think that's Lone Star right there. That's the Lone Star building. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm in the wrong section. Probably am. But yeah. So I'm actually looking for a store, and I'll be honest, I'm not as familiar with the Ren, or not Renraku. This is the Penumbra district and downtown Seattle. So basically, really, what I'm trying to find here is an Ares, but I wasn't able to find one because again, I should say I didn't want to invest a whole lot of time running around looking for one. So basically, I just go back to Redmond and because I know Redmond Baron's better than any other area in the entire game by far, but also when you take the taxi, you're basically right next to an Ares. So we'll just get rid of some of our med kits here. I had picked up a bunch from basically killing random dudes. So let's see here. Really, I think it makes more sense actually to not sell this stuff directly out of Winston's inventory because my main character has a way better charisma stat, which affects sell price. Actually, it just might be negotiations. Now I can't remember. I'm horrible now about these stats and what exactly they do. Hopefully, I'll again go back into. There, he just kicked him out. The idea here was to, again, actually just kind of rob all of the different runners in the game and really actually just show you guys where they're all located at. And then, on top of that, give a little rundown on who's good ones and who isn't. Being that Freya was going to be in my party, and I always end up using Freya. I really like her. But because of that, that's why I grabbed her first and just left her in the party. So The next stop here, I think, is Walking Bear, and she's a orc shaman. She is probably the one runner that you can hire that's going to make you the most money by just selling her stuff, because she's again, she's a shaman, and she comes with a couple of items that are really expensive. And then that being said, Freya actually has I think it's a Hellblast focus on her, which I'll be honest, I don't really use Hellblast that much. It's actually a really great, powerful spell, but it's incredibly draining. And then on top of that, it's an area of effect, so it can actually hurt your allies as well. So I generally stay away from that. So what I probably should do, if I haven't done it yet, and I don't think I have, is actually sell that Hellblast focus as well. And then on top of that, I should probably point this out right now. The magical items in this game, so like the Hellblast focus, it's a little, it looks like a magic wand in your inventory, and generally the magic items in this game cannot be transferred between characters. I'm not sure if fetishes can be or not. I'd have to try that because I just haven't tried it lately. But things like the Hellblast focused, those can't be traded, so you have to be careful with when you buy those from stores. So anyways, alright, so we've got Walking Bear. Now, she's an orc, and orcs actually do have a really good body stat. So technically, she actually could make a really good caster as well, but for whatever reason, I just don't really like using her. Again, she's a shaman, so she has a totem in her inventory, which again, just means that that spot is taken up the entire game, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, anyways, yeah. So there you can see her little bear totem in the bottom corner there. So she's got a heal wounds spell focus. It's a rating 2. That thing is really expensive. So that's what I'm going to be making a bunch of money. She's got a Warhawk pistol. That thing is garbage. I'm not going to bother with that. Here I tried to trade this, and again, it should pop up with a little, or maybe I didn't. But anyway, it would have given me an error message, if I had tried doing that. So, anyways, so she's got, alright, so there's her body stats already, a 6. Again, I think she caps out at a 7, which is, pretty insane. Her intelligence is good. Her willpower is really good as well. Sorcery is only a 4, so she's actually really low when it comes to just plain on that sorcery stat, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. So let's sell her stuff. That pistol was worth 250, so that's not bad. The fetishes are 250 as well. And then there you go. There's that bad boy. Heal wounds spell focus for 2k. Again, it's great. She's probably the one character, if you don't plan on using her, that, there you go, cannot trade magic items. So again, she's probably the one, short of, again, Freya, where you can just make a boatload of money by selling her items back to the shop. But look at that, we're already up to 4.4 foul, and I haven't really actually had to do much. So, alright, anyways, we're going to dump her, and then we'll continue on through the ranks of Shadowrunners in the game. Alright, save the game. Always a good idea at these low levels. I shouldn't say that. It's always a good idea, period, whether or not you're, at lower levels or the very end of the game. It's always a good idea to save. And save a lot, save often, and yeah, I don't know. Just do it. Alright, just do it. So yeah, anyways. Well, here I'm not sure why I was just standing around. Apparently I wanted to making myself a good target. Oh, you know what I was probably doing is looking up who I wanted to hire next. So we'll have a look here, but anyways, so like I was saying, short of Freya, Walking Bear is probably your one big moneymaker as far as hiring her for the one-time run and then just selling all of her stuff. And again, it's really because of those magic items, because they're so. I mean that heal focus was amazing. Okay, so it looks like we're trying to go for Trent. Trent is here in the Space Needle. This is downtown Seattle. It's basically right where the taxi drops you off. And Trent actually, I believe, gives you a contact for free as well. So we'll want to actually get that from him before we hire him. Because unfortunately, once you've hired him, you know, you can't get that contact from him. You have to go through the dialogue first. So here he actually does talk a little bit about the difference between shaman and mages. I don't know how much more of a difference there really is other than the totems. I mean, from what I've seen, my magic stat with my main character right now, basically everything is the same. Their sorcery is at the same rating, and their intelligence and willpower is the same. So, I mean, basically all the stats that really matter, I feel like, are pretty much the same. But at the same time, though, my shaman's attack magic with the same spell, same level of spell, is actually a little bit better. So that might be the real big difference between the mages and the shaman in this game, is that, again, and maybe I don't want to say that this is for sure, but in my or from what I've witnessed, it actually does look like the shamans actually will just do a little bit more damage than the mages will. So anyways, all right, Trent unfortunately is not really going to get us much as far as selling his gear, but here are his stats, and this is really reflected in he's so cheap to hire, and this is the reason. His stats are just not very good at all. He's only got a 3 in his sorcery. All of his pretty much general stats are really low as well. I mean, he really could be. He could be really good if you, you know, decided to level him up and really spent a lot of time on him. But I don't. I don't know. I don't really like Trent for whatever reason. Nothing personal. His little sprite does look pretty cool though. The little hat and the, you know, overcoat. So he does look pretty badass. So if that's something that you know, think is necessary, then go right ahead and hire him up. But other than that, we're going to, yeah, that Hellblast focus, that was like 2.1k. Now, I think that's actually just a little bit more than what Walking Bear had because of her either charisma or negotiations is higher. Man, look at that. It's taken so many spells to fry these guys. But that's all right. Anyways, all right, so let's continue on here. Trent has outlived his usefulness already. Again, I would say, you know, he's super cheap, and if you really wanted to build him up into a mage, you absolutely can. I just he's not my choice for mages, so we're going to alas say goodbye, fair Trent. Where are we? Yellow Barons, I think. We got some gangs going pro here. Bravo, boys. Oh, all right. So I think I stopped here at the Orc gang. These are the. Oh man, what are those guys called? It's the I-5ers are the humans out of, I think, downtown Seattle. Oh my gosh, why am I drawing such a blank now? It'll come to me eventually. Anyways, the Orc gang. Oh no, okay, looks like I'm going to the Wanderer. Oh yeah. So honestly, what I should have done was gone back to the Orc gang and picked up the Orc patch, the gang patch, because it allows basically free rides throughout for all the taxis, which, you know, obviously. I mean, I think it's worth it. The amount of money that you can save over time is definitely worth it. But yeah. Anyways, all right. So this is Peter, I think is his name. He's a dwarf decker specifically. I think he is garbage. I've never used him ever, nor would I ever recommend anybody use him because he's, like I said, he's just garbage. I think he's only got like a 2 in computers, which fine, you know, whatever. Everybody can really be built up. It just depends on how much time you want to invest in these characters. But I don't know. I don't think he's worth even hiring other than to sell his stuff. So other than that, he again talks a little bit about being a dwarf, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think he doesn't have any contacts. So really, he's just gonna be used to sell stuff. Oh, why didn't I go there? I'm looking for the crime mall, I think, but this is the wrong one. Oh, Peter almost ate it. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to kick him out here soon. Yeah, I got jumped by a bunch of orcs there. Lovely. Okay. All right. So this is these are his stats. I think I don't know if he gets a penalty to body, or if he does get an advantage eventually. I can't really remember, being a dwarf. I do vaguely remember dwarves getting a willpower advantage as well, but I don't know. I don't think that, because I think there's only 2 in the game. It's Peter and then whatever that. I think it's Ricky. I think Ricky is a better choice, to be honest, of the 2, but again, I'm not ever going to use either of those 2. So we'll sell his stuff and get rid of him right now, I think. Oh, save the game first, I guess. So up to 5K. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, okay. So sometimes you'll find, random people, and this one seemed to be hurt, but he is actually a vampire, and he messes me up bad. Yeah, I had to kite this guy. The vampires are pretty brutal at the beginning of the game. Ah! Yeah. One other thing I'll actually mention, because it's now happened. This is why you always want to keep med packs on, like, one on everybody. Because the problem is now that I've only got the main character alive, I will need to use a med pack with him on one of the other characters. Oh my god, this thing is just brutal. Get away from me. Yeah, I'm actually going to use a med pack on myself, just in case. I really don't want to die. Oh, and I'm down to 1 use, so I probably end up using that on Freya. Let's get some distance here. Oh, I swapped over to the gun. I probably should have done that right at the beginning, to be completely honest, because my spell casting abilities are just garbage right now. Alright, so I revived Freya, and now I'm just going to leave and probably go back to Redmond and, I don't know, stop at Little Chiba and heal myself. So if you ever do this, just keep in mind, if one of your members is dead and you leave the area, they basically go back to their home bar, wherever that may be. So now, if you notice, now Peter is gone, and he'll be back at. Oh, nice! Grabbed a med pack there. So he'll be back at the Wanderer, which I think that's where he's chilling at. Wow, only 2 uses. That's a shame. Actually, so one thing that's actually kind of interesting is that, especially when your biotech skill is really low, like mine is right now. I think mine is, I don't know, it might be a 0 on the main character. But when it's so low, you're actually better off to go to like a Little Chiba if you're close, and heal yourself there. It'll actually technically be cheaper in the long run. But as your med or biotech skill gets better, your med, it'll be useful, or more useful to use your med packs instead. Here I'm just reordering my inventory for whatever reason. Probably because I am OCD like that. I generally like to keep the weapon up in the top left slot, and then the armor in the second, they're in the right top slot. So I'm guessing that's why I did that. Oh, and then on top of that, so that pistol has, I think, a silencer and a laser sight, and I think that was on Freya, and it didn't really make that much sense to leave it on her because I wanted to actually use the pistol with the main character instead of the spells. And here, I think I actually went into the inn forgetting that that's not where you restore your health at. You actually do have to go to Little Chiba, so we'll see. Oh, maybe not. Okay, maybe I did go over here right away. All right, did a little better than I thought I did. All right, let's step this way. Yeah, look at that, 20 Nuyen to restore all of her health. Good deal. Good deal. All right, so let's continue on here. We'll probably go pick up our next victim, whoever that may be. Who do we have left? I know Phantom. There's Phantom. He might be next. He's looking like that's the case. Phantom is in the Renraku archaeology, whatever, archaeology, something like that. And he's in the bar. Basically, once you get dropped off, just go straight right. And it looks like this is the frag grenade. It costs 25 Nuyen to get in. No big deal. We can handle that. But here he is. This is Phantom. He is a Decker. Maybe that's obvious. He's an elf. I would say he is the second best Decker. I mean, there's really only 3 options for Deckers, short of your main character. It's, what was his name? Peter? Yeah, Peter. And he's garbage, the dwarf. And then there's the elf, Phantom. Phantom can be really good. If you spend the time on him, he can be really good. And then I think the best, though, is Breanna. I actually really don't like Phantom. Probably the biggest reason is because he starts out with, I think it's hand raisers. And unfortunately, because of the way I like to, or because of the options for cyberware in this game, going with the hand raisers is going to block him out of something more useful later. So that's really my only gripe with him. Goblinization. Okay, that's the term for basically everybody metamorphizing into the sub races or whatever. Anyways, yeah, Phantom. So the good thing is, though, so he's an elf, so automatically he's gonna have or I guess his maximum quickness stat's really good. And I mean, really, it's your choice of Decker really needs to be between him and Breanna. He's about half the price, if you notice there. But again, I'll be honest. I think Breanna is significantly better, and so I just won't. I can't recommend Phantom because of that. And really, it's because of his end game. It's just not quite as strong as Breanna's. The other great thing about Breanna is, and I'll actually point that out once we hire her, is her cyberware. She's pretty cybered, so it's really nice to not have to spend the cash on that as well, and to just automatically have it. So as far as cyberware for Phantom, I don't remember what this guy's got, but he does come with this. I think it's an SMG. Yeah, I think that's technically considered an SMG. I don't really think. Oh, maybe it is a pistol. No, that doesn't seem like that makes sense. All right. Anyways, so he's got a 6 in intelligence. That's actually really impressive. 4 in willpower, not too bad. His quickness stat's really good too. At a 5. Now his maximum would be 7, just because he's an elf. His computer's a 5, so he's only 1 behind Breanna too. So again, he's really not bad, and especially if you just can't afford her, I guess. Of course, I went back in and got into a fight. Great. Looks like all 3 of the main gangs are represented here. There's an I-5er, a Halloweener, and then one of the orc guys, which I don't know why I'm spacing out on what their name is, but Anyways, all right. So this is Microtronics. It's really good to know where the Microtronics store is at. Unfortunately, though, I wanted to just go to a spot where I can sell stuff. So there, if you notice, Phantom has the same... oh, wow, that thing was not worth very much money. Wow, okay. Again, I don't remember if that was a pistol, or if that was an SMG. I'm not really sure, but either way, that gun is not very good. So anyway, so that is Phantom. Phantom's got the same... Basically, the same sprite as Trent, other than it's just a palette swap. So there's his what was that? Razors, a data jack, and then here I have to check what else he had. Hang on a second. Okay, so he had the first rank of wired reflexes, which is cool. That's great and everything, but Breanna has got wired reflexes too. So. And unfortunately, that's the most expensive cyberware in the game is wired reflexes. So even just having that really puts her out ahead of Phantom, big time. So, anyways, all right, Breanna, we're finally going to hire her now. She is the last runner that we actually have access to right now. Again, there are two other human samurai, one being Eileen Two Fists. The other being Stark, and Stark is he's interesting. I actually don't really like to use him either. I think actually Eileen's just a little bit better if I remember correctly, and only because of her or because of the specific cyberware that I like to have on my characters. So again, again, that's why I like Breanna here over Phantom. So. Anyways, we are going to hire her for a single run, and what I'm actually going to do here is probably between this video and the next is farm up a bunch of karma. I think I had mentioned I was going to do that, and I actually may have already done that a little bit before this. Actually, I'm almost positive that's what I did, because I think I'm hiring these runners at their cheapest. At the cheapest I can possibly get them. So she comes armed even with some pretty decent stuff. She's got an SMG with a smart link system, which is really good. You generally want to have that on any character that you're going to be using guns with. Here's her stats. Her body is terrible. Her body stats terrible. Geez, no offense, Breanna, sorry. Her quickness is a 7, so she's already maxed out there, and then she's got the 6s in intelligence and willpower, pretty impressive. Here's her real clutch stat, though, is the computer with the 6. Electronics is 5 as well, so if you ever end up going on like corporate runs, that's a really good stat to have as well. The only thing that I actually don't really like, and there's her cyberware. So as far as I'm concerned, her cyberware is pretty perfect. I always like to have the data jack, the smart link, and then the wired, or 2 levels of the wired reflexes. Or I should say that's always part of my optimal builds, especially for deckers. If you're not using a decker, well, there's no real reason to have a data jack. But anyways, we are going to give her. It looks like I'm gonna give her a Predator. I'm not really sure why I did this. I don't think I wanted her to use that SMG. Yeah, the power's not very good. The ammo is good, but problem with the SMGs is they fire three shots at a time, so they rip through ammo really quick. And if you're not really doing that great of damage, well, it doesn't really make that much sense to be throwing that much lead at something. So we're going to we'll sell off our stuff, but again, this is going to be my this will probably be my end game party, to be completely honest. If you notice there, Breanna is just a palette swap of Freya's sprite too. So which whatever, that's fine. And I think Stark is a palette swap of the main character. Oh Jesus! All right, so this is a Hellhound and a Vampire, and they are absolutely nasty. So if you notice there, Freya got worked over really good. I'm surprised that went as well as it did, though, because my stats are not very good right now, so it's actually kind of dangerous to be running around out in the streets of some of these zones. But anyways, we're gonna go back to Redmond. And again, I just really like to farm karma here. It's tedious, I will fully admit, but it's a great way to start. And I'll be honest, I think that because the runs are so fast, and because I know Redmond so well, I think actually farming the karma here, again for me anyway, is kind of the best way to do it. Just because again. Sure, the end game runs are like 6 karma a pop, but I don't have the equipment to do it right, or to do those right now. And then on top of that, I think just time-wise, because I know this area so well, I can actually do these faster. And so I'll just actually accumulate that karma quite a bit faster. So, alright, I'm actually going to check, I want to check my stats again here real quick. Alright, so I misspoke earlier. I thought my negotiation and my charisma was a lot higher, but it's not. They're basically almost at their base. I think my charisma was 3, and my negotiation skill was only a 4 right now. So that's the prices that I went to hire these runners at was actually not as good as I could have got. I could have probably dumped some more points into charisma before I took all this footage, but you know what? It's fine. I had plenty of money to hire these guys for one run anyway. So again, what I'm actually going to do here between videos is I think just farm up a bunch of karma here in the Redmond Barrens. So as always, though, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.